Good morning, friends and members of the Church of the Angels. The church is an independent, non-denominational, interfaith spiritualist assembly, and all who enter are valued for their unique opinions. My name is Rev Jenni Vinecourt. I'm your facilitator today, and today we'll spend about an hour together with prayer, some sharing, and song. As usual, the logistics before we get started. You can join us with just audio if you want. You don't have to use your video option. And that is important because we are recording. So whatever shows up, whoever is speaking shows up on the recording. So if you do not want to be seen on the recording during the sharing portion of the service or whatnot, you may take yourself off of that video. So we'll just hear your voice and not see you. And we do record so that we can help more folks connect with us. We've gotten a lot of feedback that people are enjoying being able to watch it on the recordings that can't get to us on Sunday mornings. And we also have had a lot of new folks joining us from out of state, people that have not been a member of the church or have not found the church before, and they have found us now online. So at any rate, during the sharing portion of the service, if you want to be called on to comment, or if you have a question, there is a little raise your hand button on your screen somewhere, but if you don't find that, you can go like this and raise your hand and let me know so that I can make sure that you're unmuted for your comment or your question. Okay, oh, of course, and I've got to tell you, I'm a bit disjointed today. My papers are all out of order and they're all over my desk, so we're gonna see. I also want to mention that if you wish to make a donation, you can do so through the church's website, and you will also have the opportunity at that time to make your donation a recurring one if you choose. And I want to give a big thank you to all those who have donated already to help us keep going through this difficult time. So if you want to join me in opening prayer, please. Mother, Father, Infinite Spirit, thank you for your blessings on those who are joining us today to honor your work and experience your grace and wisdom. Thank you for providing the appropriate thoughts, insights, actions, and all resources for us to gain a better and truer understanding of your love by the words spoken and the healing brought forth here today so that we might lead healthy, happy, and prosperous lives. Thank you for showing us the way to accept responsibility for our lives, and we are grateful to know that you are with us always. So be it. Thank you. All right, and I've asked Lydia to read our statement of principles for us today. And if you would unmute yourself, Lydia.
Got it. Okay.
That would be great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. There is one creative force of which all life is a part. There is one creative force is known by many names and many manifestations. We recognize and honor the many names and manifestations of the one creative force, the source of all creation, one in God. The energy of life everywhere is continuous. All continuous is continuous. All consciousness is continuous. Communications is continuous. The energy of life, consciousness, and communication never cease, even after the event that has perceived as death. One creates, one owns reality. One creates in harmony with the one creative force, the great power of God, of which all life is a part. Reality is as one chooses to perceive and will change as one grows in knowledge of the inner self and one's relationship with God, of his understanding. All things are possible with faith, insight, knowledge, understanding, acceptance, and love. Love is the unifying energy of the universe. Love is the energy of one creative force, the wisdom of God. All life and all mankind are in the creatorship and healing force of love and with each other. Love is within us and of us. Love is never apart from us. It is we who separate ourselves from the power of love. The force of God works through love and love alone.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you very much. And I'd like to just add that a copy of that, if you want to read along with us when we do that each Sunday, that you can find a copy of that on the website. You can find a copy of that or a link to a copy of that through the latest newsletter as well. So now I'd like to start with or have a few moments of quiet meditation so that we may concentrate on going within to find the peace and calm and healing for ourselves and the world. So if you would close your eyes for just a moment. Take a few deep breaths. Each breath in brings peace and calm. Every breath out releases all fear, negativity, and tension. Imagine a cone of light sitting on top of your head, and through that cone flows the liquid, loving, warm light of the highest. Filling your head and neck and down through your shoulders, and throughout your entire body. And now see this loving, warm light moving out through your cells and forming a lovely bubble of light surrounding you. Know that within this circle of light, you are protected and unconditionally loved. Also know that you can call upon this circle of light anytime you wish to use it. All you need to do is think of it and it is there. Settle into the peace and calm of the light. And know that you can return at any time. I'll take another deep breath in and let it out. Focus on your breathing. Wiggle your fingers and toes and take your time and come back to the present. Remember that we are always connected to each other and to the divine, and use this peace and calm to take care of yourself and those around you in your communities and throughout the world in whatever way that you can. And now, if you would please add silently or aloud the names of those you wish to include in this loving and healing energy. And I'd also like to take a few moments for us to think about and send that loving light and energy to those that have recently been suffering the injustices. George Floyd, Ahmed, Arbery, and so many, many others that we know the names of, some we don't, but all who have suffered injustice and who suffer from some, in my opinion, misguided efforts to find peace. All right, thank you. Thank you much. All right, and now, Bobby, if you would, let me get you, could you unmute yourself? I can't find, there you go. And if we would have him raise our vibration with a song, please. One that I have personally requested that has to do with our talk today.
Okie dokie. I never played this one out before. Hope I don't screw it up.
Bobby, we lost you. You're cutting in and out, honey.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, but you're cutting in and out.
How's now?
Yes.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Jesus is just all right with me. Jesus is just all right. Oh yeah. Jesus is just all right with me. Jesus is just all right. Talking, I don't care what they may say. I don't care what they may do. I don't care what they may say. Jesus is just all right. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 Jesus is just all right with me. Jesus is just all right. Oh yeah. Jesus is just all right with me. Jesus is just all right. Talking about I don't care what they may know. I don't care where they may go. I don't care what they may know. Jesus is just all right. Well, Jesus, he's my friend. To bend by the hand and let me far from this land. 'Cause Jesus, he's my friend. alright with me. Jesus is just alright. Oh yeah, Jesus is just alright with me. Jesus is just alright. I don't care what they may say. I don't care what they may do. I don't care what they may say. Jesus is just alright. Oh yeah, Jesus is just alright. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you very much. All right. And now it's time for inspiration and thought exchange, brought to us by today's speaker. We do invite everyone to address this assembly with words of inspiration, lessons learned, or passionate ideas. And today I am your speaker. I have, for those who, I don't know if there's anybody new in here or not, because I haven't looked at the whole picture yet, but I will let anyone new know that I have followed a lifetime interest in metaphysics. And after years of using clairvoyant gifts, reading for clients and counseling clients, I felt a desire to further my studies and better understand if those gifts were my true calling. And in 1999, the School of Spiritual Healing and Prophecy in Lilydale, New York, ordained me as a spiritualist minister and a healer. And I also hold ordination papers from the Church of the Angels. All right. Mostly I share my love and the gifts of mediumship by serving the pastor at the church, but my greatest joy comes from serving spirit and teaching others to enhance their own spiritual connections to positively affect their lives. I live happily with husband and a whole bunch of animals, critters out here in Burton. So the reason I asked Bobby to sing that song was because lately, and I want to tell you, like I mentioned before, I am rather disjointed today. I have pieces of talks everywhere on this desk. My brain is disjointed. My heart feels disjointed. I'm hoping we don't have any kids. That's right. It doesn't matter. I'll readjust my language today. But the events that are going on are coming to such a head, and I am, the world seems disjointed. Everybody's on edge, and we're going over the edge. So, having said that, and I can't tell you, none of this talk, whatever it turns out to be today, none of this talk is, I'm not trying to tell you what to do or how to feel. I can only tell you what I've been doing. And for me, and for those of you who know me and know me well, you know that I am not a Bible girl. That is not usually my go-to step. But I am a Jesus girl, which a lot of you don't really realize either, because I have a different idea of Jesus. As a spiritualist, I do not believe in vicarious atonement. I don't believe that he died for our sins, because I don't believe that we're born in sin. I don't believe that we needed that, and I believe that we're responsible for our own stuff. But, and I guess we'll start with this. I have something I want to read to you from the Abingdon Christian Spiritualist Church in the UK. And it is an answer on their website to what is Christian spiritualism. And it says, spiritualism is not only a religion, but a way of life. It is using your intuition and your sixth sense. It is finding the God or great spirit within. Finding your God. We are all different upbringings, cultures, beliefs. Finding our God will bring love into our hearts and peace within. As spiritualists, we believe that we are spirit before we are born, spirit when we are on the earth, and with a body, and spirit after death. We believe there is a world beyond this physical world, which we call the spirit world. And the spirit world is the world of thought. Some call it heaven. Our main aim as spirit is to get nearer to God or perfection or developing our soul. One of the ways we can do this is by being born into a physical body, leading a life here on earth where we learn lessons that are needed to progress our soul. When we return to spirit, we have more lessons to learn, more work to do. Many spirits, work close to the earth plane as guides and helpers, linking with individuals on earth through difficult times, guiding and guarding us. And this is all done in the name of love, God's love. By helping each other, we can learn and grow nearer to God and his understanding. And as we would say in the church, the God of our understanding. Christian spiritualism not only embraces spiritualism, but also brings Jesus into our lives. We believe the stories of Jesus taught us how to lead our lives, love one another, forgive those who hurt us, don't judge, be humble, compassionate. The most important of these is love. Love your neighbor as yourself, whatever their color or creed. Spiritualists believe that we all have guardian angels, that we also have other spirit helpers who help us according to the problems or difficulties we are having, and we ask for help when we need it, and they will be supporting us the best way that they can. They cannot lead our lives for us, but they can give us thoughts to help solve our problems. Now, I may not actually believe that word for word, but the major part of that is that, for me anyway, is that we do, or I still, not we as spiritualists, but I as a spiritualist, still believe in Jesus, but not the Jesus that I was taught about when I was young. I don't want to kneel before him. I want to walk beside him and have him walk beside me and help me through this stuff that's going on because I am so disjointed. So I lately have been calling upon him a lot to walk beside me because, because it's too much for me to deal with. So I want to thank Alexander Fox. I don't know if he's in here today, but I do want to thank him for posting on Facebook some positive events that have happened throughout all this. But it brings up for me, it feels like the 60s and the 70s for me. And it brings up gay bashing. It brings up Black Lives Matter. It brings up a whole bunch of stuff that's important to me and that I can't fix right away, that I want to fix. I also want to say, I want to read you something that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote. And he was a spiritualist. And so, like I said, this is rather disjointing. So I'm hoping that pieces of this might fit with you or hit with you or resonate at some point, because I'm not quite sure what order. I'm just letting spirit pick up which piece of paper I'm supposed to go next. So at any rate, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, he writes, what ruined early Christianity and reduced it to a jumble of creeds, all at loggerheads over mystical questions. It was the attempt in the 2nd century or thereabouts to closely define things which the human brain is incapable of understanding, and then to quarrel with those who didn't agree with the definition. Where we consider the breadth and gentle tolerance of Christ's teaching, we can. It seems to me, see that all those successive councils of the church, which got more and more dogmatic in their teaching, were essentially unchristian in their spirit. Spiritualism is, in my opinion, that's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's opinion, an attempt to get back to simplicity as well as to the phenomena of the early Christian days. We have to cease the twisting of text and the drawing of iron lines round matters which are admitted to be infinite and therefore beyond our capacity. It would be 1,000 pities if any considerable body of spiritualists began to excommunicate their neighbors upon such grounds. Every spiritualist whom I know is convinced that Christ is the highest of spirits. Upon that, there is no contention. Why not leave it at that? And let each determine in his own soul and reason how far that highest spirit approached actual divinity. Only in this way can we find unity and mutual tolerance. So in effect, what that says to me is that, that we believe that Christ is our brother, that he is a really cool dude, and that we need him as a friend, and that it's up to each one of us where we decide to put him in our lives or on that ladder. Some of us are raised to know that he is God. Some of us are raised to think that he is the only Son of God. Some of us are raised to fear God and Jesus. And, it doesn't matter where or how you were raised with Jesus. In my life, he's always been there. Sometimes I've welcomed him, sometimes I have not. But in these times for me right now, I have been calling on him. And I also have something that I want to read from John Fugelsang. Now, granted, he's an actor and a comedian. However, I do agree with his opinion on Jesus. And I have this one. This one is sitting in my office, so I can see it every day. And it says, Jesus was a radical, nonviolent revolutionary who hung around with lepers, hookers, and crooks. Wasn't American and never spoke English. Was anti-wealth, anti-death penalty, and anti-public prayer. But was never anti-gay, never mentioned abortion or birth control, never called the poor lazy, never justified torture, never fought for tax cuts for the wealthiest Nazarenes, never asked a leper for a copay, and was a long-haired, brown-skinned, homeless, community organizing, anti-slut-shaming Middle Eastern Jew. That is why I love Jesus. Not because they say he's the savior, not because anybody says that I should, but because he's a cool dude, because of who he is. And that's why that's hanging in my office too. And I don't expect everybody to go that route with me. You don't have to. It's okay. I just think that I just wanted to share how I felt about Jesus. That's why I asked Bobby to sing that song for us today. Although it did date several of us, because I could see some of you singing. And I also, because of everything that's going on, and I want to mention that Alexander Fox had been, one of our members has been posting online the good things that are happening, the police that are joining some of the protests, the that end of things, because in my disjointed heart, in my hurting heart, it's sometimes hard for me to see those, and I need somebody to remind me that they're actually going on. I also want to thank Reverend Carol Wood, who sent a YouTube video to me, to the board actually, and I want to be able to share that with you, not today, but I will post it on Facebook, and I will also post it on on the website. It's 24 or so, I think it was 24 churches in Hawaii put a blessing together on YouTube and did a song together for their islands, for the entire world. And it I've been listening to it daily, and it's been helping me. So I will share that. Thank you, Carol, for that. I will share that on Facebook and on our website for those of you that you can find it. Martin Luther King also said, returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adding a deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only love can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. I have my favorite book recently, which is, there you go, Uplifting Prayers to Light Your Way. And I found one on accepting disappointment, because I have to admit, I have to admit that I am extremely disappointed these days. I'm trying very hard and working on acceptance and sending love. But I have to admit that I'm very disappointed in what the hell's going on. And I can't, it's definitely difficult for me to deal with. So, Holy Mother, Father God, divine loving light and heart of the universe, I humbly ask for the healing power of your grace to soothe my disappointed spirit. Please send me a sign that you are with me as I feel so all alone. That's where Jesus comes in. Please also send in your angels to escort me out of this trap of feeling that all is lost, and let me know there is hope for the future, even if it is not the future I had hoped for. Let me accept my disappointment with grace and not take it personally. Grant me the ability to accept what happens in life and the knowledge that all is for the higher good. Allow me the strength of spirit to release all attachment to my unrealized expectations and hopes, and to surrender them to your better plan. I thank you in advance with my whole heart and soul for answering my prayer and soothing my soul. Amen. And with infinite gratitude. Oh, I hope Spirit brings that back, because I was going to say something and now it's gone. I hate when that happens. But my acceptance of disappointment is, I sometimes feel, in a lot of areas of my life, but I know that I have felt it before, but I don't believe in my heart that I have felt it this strongly as I have over the past week. So I'm not quite sure what that means for me, other than learn to ask for help and use these options and these opportunities that we have. And just this morning, I am going to end this and then open it up for some discussion. But just this morning on Facebook, Joshua and ACO, who we've had come to the church before, he posted something that I asked his permission to use it this morning, and he said, of course. So I want to share that with you as well. Yes, 2020 is a long, dark night of the soul, and yes, we're not even halfway through it. No, I don't want to be on a rocket speeding far away from this planet. That's for you, Ann. I chose to be here, and I choose to be here. My heart hurts for those who are hurting. And I want my heart to hurt, because it will shape my actions for the future so that less hearts hurt. I want to stay on this planet and have life here change. It has to change, and I'll leave it when I'm ready. Until then, I want to change it as much as I can for your children and mine. I know you want the same thing. Deep love to you and yours. And I give you great thanks for allowing me to vent and be disjointed. And I will open it up and be weepy. I will open it up for comments and questions at this time. So I am looking for, Shannon Williams. You are unmuted. Go ahead, hon.
Thank you. So I love the way Spirit works. I had no idea what the topic was going to be this morning. And I think that Spirit had a plan in advance for me to add to this.
Awesome.
So, make a long story short, I inherited from my grandmother, whom I never met. She was a devout Catholic. I inherited a lot of her books, prayer cards, and some of them are very sentimental to me, and I post them around the house and in my room. And a few days ago, I have this prayer card at the top corner of my mirror in my room, and it's been there for a long time. And I was getting dressed in front of the mirror, and it fell down. And it gracefully, like a feather, just fell right in front of me. And I'd like to read it, because I think it really applies to your message today, and the anger that's going on, and the frustration, and where we need to remember all about love and what Jesus brought to this planet. So I'm going to read it. It's pretty heavy, but it definitely applies today. It's called My Jesus. Here is my tongue, that you may watch over it, that it may not utter more than pleases you, and that my silence may speak to you. Here are my ears, that may listen only to the voice of duty and to your voice, O Jesus. Here are my eyes, that they may not cease to behold you in every face and in every work. Here are my hands and my feet, that you may make them agile, that they may be riveted to your service alone, to the execution of your desires. Here are my thoughts, that your light may possess them. Here is my heart, that your love, O Jesus, may reign and rest in it. And I think that's beautiful. I thank you for letting me share that.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ileana, go ahead and unmute, please. There you go. You're good.
Thank you. I usually don't say much at our meetings here, at our sessions, at our church services, but I have felt compelled to add to your Jesus description, which is very much how I think of him. For the past few years, and being a physician, what do? I get consults, right? I get consults all the time. And for the past few years, I've been trying to, when I have a tough situation, I look up and I say, okay, what would you do if you were me right here and right now? Well, what would you do? And then more recently, I've added it as a consult. Tough decision, tough question, I send a consult up. And I tell them what the consult is. And within a few days, somehow, in some fashion, I get the answer. Whether it's something that pushes me or something that makes me, act in a certain way, he gives me the answer. I've called him my lawyer too. When there's a problem between colleagues, he's a lawyer who comes in and breaks it up. And right now, I think we need that lawyer, that aspect of breaking it up. Very few people know that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was not only a spiritualist, he was the president of the Spiritualist British Society. And there's an entire building in London, which I have been fortunate enough to be at, where they give readings. They have an immense library. And I didn't know I was led there for other reasons. And as I'm coming down the stairs, here's this huge picture of him. I really like the British spiritualist concept. But I thought I'd share my consult because it's kind of funny, but boy, it works.
Thank you. Thank you, Ileana. That's awesome. Yes, Dale. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Dale.
I did.
Okay, you're good.
So I also really like the way that you think about Jesus. It's not somebody to be worshipped, but an equal, a brother, and a companion. And I think about the quote from the Gospel of John where he says that the things that I do, you also can do these things and even greater things than these. So we think of Jesus as showing the way and setting the example, not being the exception. So I really like that part. The only part I'm going to push back on a little bit is the part about surrendering to the greater plan. I think stuff is happening that no loving spirit would plan. And I think spirit just doesn't control that part, and I think the idea that it's all planned out, and as awful as it seems, it's all for the greater good. I just don't think that fits with the real world. There's stuff that happens that just isn't good, and that's I think that's how it is.
Yeah, it's hard to accept that. I find that difficult myself. Yes, thank you, Dale. Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else? let me go to the other, hang on one second. I got several. Oh, I got lots. Hang on. Okay. Lydia, go ahead, please.
Okay, first I want to say that I loved your interpretation of Jesus. And, this is just for fun, but yesterday I was watching some YouTube inspirational stuff and a Jesus thing popped up, and it was just interesting how that came up yesterday for me. But that was just for fun, I wanted to say. But I just love your interpretation, and I am going to listen to that again on YouTube because I want to own that. But anyway, that's just me personally. I just wanted to say, for what we're all going through, these are some crazy times, but what I say to myself, and I would like to share with all of you, is that I really believe that we need to remember to stay as high as vibration as possible, because everything around us keeps bringing us down. And, with the television and everything, and I can't even watch it. I cannot watch it. But I want to say that we must not look, everybody, I'm talking to the choir here. Everybody here, there's very special people, and I love you all so much. So I'm not really talking to you, but I feel like it's our responsibility to try to raise vibration and not get into this, this lowering of what's happening. All I'm trying to say is that I feel that we need to help people, because we know a lot, and we have to help each other, because a lot of you know things that I don't know, and vice versa. And I am so grateful for having this in my life, 2020, because I never had it before. I've never had this kind of support. I can't tell you how grateful I am to Source and for allowing me to have this, or me allowing to have this. I feel like spirituality is the most important thing in all our lives right now in order to get through this. And Jesus is all right with me. And anything we can do to help us stay, because I do believe this is a spiritual battle. We cannot be separated. No more Democrat crap, Republican separation, no black or white separation. It's got to stop, the separation. And this is what is being put out there. And we have, and what you see is not always it was true. Sometimes we have to be aware of that in life. We have to just be aware, allow things that may be different to be true. I don't know how to put that. I'm going to work on my communication, but I just wanted to leave you all with that. I feel it's just really important to stay at a high vibration with love. Love is the answer, period. Sounds corny, and it's just a word, but love is what it's all about here. And I come here for it, and I get it from all of you. Every one of you people here, I just love you a lot, and I'll leave it at that. But thanks for letting me talk.
Thanks, Lydia. Stephen, did I see your hand up, Stephen?
Hey, I wanted to say something really quick.
Oh, Jonathan, hi.
Hi. First of all, Lydia, whenever you are here, I see you, even in this small photo. I'm sorry, everybody, but Lydia, your smile, it's everything. It's everything. Anyway,
Thank you.
Reverend Jenni, based on like what you were saying, I just wanted to kind of add, I was a little kid, 4, maybe 5 years old. And I remember being taught about Jesus, and I was going to Christian after school. And we were taught that he was a spirit. And what was I told a spirit is? It's a ghost. And I said to my mom, I'm actually kind of scared. That's scary to me. I don't want someone watching me. And that's really creepy. She literally, this is so perfect. I love this. That's why I got emotional with the beautiful poem that you read, the prayer that fell off of your wall. which I feel like I have something to tell her too. I forget her name. Anyway, Shannon.
Yeah.
So she brought me, took my hand into her room, opened her Bible, didn't say a word, and just said, we're going to open up to what page and we'll see what he has to tell us.
It's a random page.
Yeah. And it said, literally said, like, I'm not going to be able to quote it perfectly, but it just, the whole idea, it said, don't be afraid. I am under every rock. I am there beside you. I am your companion. And from that moment, I've always thought of him as my companion, my side friend. It's who I talk to. No one can change that. Not anyone. And like, as a result, then I have my relationship that's been garnered to God of that even. But I just wanted to share that because it's just amazing how things happen. And that little moment my mom had for me, I'll never forget. And it forever had my mind in that mindset, I guess, where it was never, I'm not gonna like sit here and worship someone that's my best friend. I don't know. I get
it. Thanks, Jonathan. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
We have a couple. Yeah, we have a couple more hands up. Deborah, yes, go ahead, Deborah.
Good morning, everyone. Rev Jenni, thank you so much for this. I was kind of rushing around this morning. I don't know why. I was just running late and whatever. It doesn't matter. And I have this new tripod that I do not like because it's very unstable. I had this great one that was wide and I could set it up anywhere and not a problem. So I was outside and then it fell over. Then I came inside and I put it on so I could look at the couch. Then I'm a dark shadow. And I started thinking, I'm like, I'm tired of being a dark shadow because I have been sharing a lot of the craziness out there. And I'm like, why am I doing that? You know, and I had to think to myself at one point, I was like, because, you know, I thrive being of service. I'm getting around to your topic, but I thrive of being of service. And during that 2 months off, I was not being of service. So somewhere in the back of my mind, I think my subconscious thought that was being of service, trying to shine light on everything that's bad that's going on in this and that. But I need to get back to love because that's what I used to share. And then I have to question where I'm at in my spiritual growth, you know, when the chaos really hits and the shit hits the fan, excuse my language, but why am I going towards the shit? Why am I not staying in the light? So this has all been coming up for me like the last week. And you know, I love Jesus. Every time I get a chance to talk, I talk about Jesus and I've witnessed Jesus. I've had Jesus in physical form show up for me. The first time I showed up at the Church of the Angels, I shared the experience from the podium that, you know, I looked over and this person walked in and they've never come back, but I knew in an instant that was Jesus. And that's also how I knew in an instant I belonged at the Church of the Angels, because this whole experience. And so this whole tripod issue I had this morning, I look across the room and I don't know if you guys can see, you know, my Jesus painting behind me. My grandfather gave this to my great grandmother when he was 16. My great grandmother passed it on to my mother. My mother gave it to me and the frame broke. And I look across the room and I see this, I still need to get it fixed and it's sitting on my couch. And I'm like, well, I can just set my tripod up with Jesus. And so it's just, you know how life works. It's just crazy. Thanks for the reminder. And and I need to get back to love. And I did see Joshua's, post this morning and that was beautiful. And that just reminded me, yes, I can cry for the world and I can cry for what's going on. But all of and Lydia said it, you know, we're all designed to sit and hold the light. And I talk about that all the time. You know, I know this, but sometimes when you're in the midst of it, because I just want to be like, what can I do? And that's what I need to do, is just sit and hold the light and love and, you know, step out of the craziness, because that's not what I came here for. I didn't come here to, you know, run down the street screaming and yelling and hollering and shaking people. I came here to be that love and that light. And I just need to remember that. And thank you everyone for your comments. And thank you all. I'm so grateful to be here this morning. I love it.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. And one last one, Judy, if you would unmute yourself and go ahead, Judy. Thank you.
Okay. Hi. I so deeply appreciate that you opened up your heart and became vulnerable with us. And I felt like this is one of the most heart-centered, not one of the most heart-centered, that wouldn't be the right word, but it really brought us all together in that heart-centered way. I have a similar view. Jesus is within all of us, you know. It's just depends on if we choose to look at the ego words that have used him to control things and all the other things that come along with our human nature. But I think of this time, and I've asked the light of a little differently. Everything that we're seeing rise up in the world, we need to embrace the darkness and the lightness, because everything we see that's raising up is there for us to heal. It's like Michael Ringer's Untethered Soul. He says, oh, there's another thorn. Great, I get to remove that. And so I look at that. What's happening was already there. It was already happening. Now we're shining a light on this darkness so that we can bring it into the light and heal it. And so as we see, you know, the difficult things that are going on, we also had the chance to really heal them and say, who do we want to be? And we see so much coming together. And even the most difficult, people who are going through the most difficult times and barely hanging in there, still giving and loving. And so if we don't see the biases and the prejudice, the sicknesses, and I call those sicknesses of the spirit for people to come up to be healed. Donald Trump, he's getting all this stuff to come up for us to heal and shift to who we really are and want to be in the world and for each other. And everyone feels at some level, I believe, that deep hungering for that connection, and we're realizing how important it really is. So every sharing that happened today has spoke to me and been really, really beautiful and helpful. And so I appreciate that.
Thank you, Judy. And thank you all. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you so much. And thank you for allowing me to, be as disjointed. I'm hoping, and it feels like it was of some benefit to some of you. So thank you for your kind attention. And now we'll move into a little bit of message work. As spiritualists, we do believe that the energy of all beings is forever linked, and that all of us have the direct access to the love and guidance of loved ones, guides, teachers, saints, healers, and angels on the other side. We do have mediums that have joined us today who have agreed to be of service, and what I've been trying to do is set up 3 mediums ahead of time so that they will have the chance to kind of peruse the room before I call on them. And so they will bring forth a few messages for us. Shannon Williams, would you start us off? Oop, yep. There you go.
Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Whew, I have a lot coming through. So I hope I say everything correctly, because I am like downloading at a fast rate this morning. Deborah, can I come to you? Where are you? There she is, Deborah. Hi. All right. Are you unmuted?
Yes, thank you.
Go. Perfect. Hi. When you were talking, I got a spirit guide coming through really strongly for you. And she was called Grandma. She wasn't your, okay, that was her name. Like, she's Native American Indian. She was called Grandma. And she had this, she was given that name for a reason. She was very much a grandma. She's coming through, and she was really strong beside you. And when you were talking about bringing a lot of darkness there for a while, she goes, no, she needs to understand something. She doesn't want you to beat yourself up over this. You were used as a vehicle. There were certain people that you touched that needed a touch of that darkness that you shared, okay? Because they need to understand the light better. They need to appreciate the light better. And it's funny because I was definitely meant to be here today, because I was reading this book, and I want to refer you to this book, Deborah. It's called The Unfolding Self, and I'll actually message you and I'll give you the name, okay? But there's a chapter, and I just started reading it last night, and it's From Darkness to Light. That's the chapter title. And I think it'll help you. But it's I'm getting goosebumps. Like, I'm getting like, whoo, I'm right on target. You don't beat yourself up over this. You're used as a vehicle to get through to people, and you did. And it's over with. And it really took a toll on you, because you're light and love, and that's not you, but it was needed, because there are some people that are very drawn to you. You're light. Okay. And they got it. And you'd be amazed at the people that were in darkness that you touched. Okay? That is super important. Like, I'm getting chills right now. Super important, okay? It was a blessing, not a curse. Okay? I want to end that with you, okay?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you.
Bye. All right, I have B. Where's B? There she is, up in the corner. Hi, B.
Hi.
Okay, you're unmuted, B. Go ahead.
All right.
Okay.
Hello.
I actually had a message for you before we even got here today.
Oh, gee. How wonderful. Thank you.
This morning you popped into my head, and I haven't seen you in forever since I moved out of state. And you popped into my head, and I feel like the message I got really strongly, whoever is presenting it, it's not important. The message is more important than anything here. You feel compounded, like you're in a small space, and you don't feel as though you're getting enough exercise, and spirit feels like you're not getting enough movement. And you need that movement. And you're like, well, how can I do this? You know, because there's all these factors involved. So I don't know if you're computer savvy, but I'm getting that you really need to get online, like YouTube, and look on YouTube for exercise videos for your age group. Okay? Like
Yes.
stuff you could do on a chair, in and around your apartment, inside. So you stay active, because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that was real strong this morning. So I don't know if you're feeling that frustration right now, like you want to move and you're worried you're going backwards physically in strength. But just go on YouTube and look at those videos, and you're going to find the right one.
Okay.
And it's not going to be too strenuous. It's going to be fun. You're going to be laughing the whole time you're doing it, like, I can't believe I'm doing this, but it's going to work. Okay?
All right.
And
Thank
I
you.
feel like you're going to connect with somebody through this. That's what I'm getting.
Wonderful.
They're not telling me much more, but you're going to connect with someone, and it's going to help you down the road.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? I want to leave that with you.
If you wanted to connect with me, I would talk with you on this level about that reading.
Okay.
Somehow and I'm not computer savvy, so we'll have to figure out how you and I can connect.
Are you are you on Facebook?
Well, I am, but I text. If you can figure out.
I'll get you guys together. I'll put you
Okay.
guys together.
Thank
Okay?
you.
I'll put it
That
on my
would be
list.
wonderful.
All right,
Thank
great.
you.
Okay. All right. And then I want to come to Dale. Hey, Dale.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
I'll be happy to take a message.
Okay. So I have a gentleman that's coming through, and he's not giving up, because I'll be honest, the last time I saw you, he was coming through, and it was on hold, and now he's coming through, and now he wants to talk, kind of thing. I feel like it's a grandfather. He's laughing. He's like, no, it is a grandfather. It is. Okay. You're worried about a health concern, and last week you were really, really like tunnel vision, worried about something. You were medically. It's a medical concern, but I'm getting that you're doing better actually this week than you were last week, and not to worry about it. He's got a sense of humor. He's got a lot to say. You're younger than you think. Okay, he wants you to know that. You're younger than you think. Don't tell yourself you're old. Okay? Because what you think is very powerful. Okay? And he just wants you to say it like an affirmation, you know. I am young at heart. I can still do these things. I'm not slowing down. You got to say this to yourself, okay? And I feel like too, it has to do with movement. I don't know if you can place this at all, but if you can't place it right now, just put it up on the shelf. But he doesn't want you to worry as much because it takes a toll on your health. You're worrying about an awful lot to the point where you're like this and you don't see anything else around you. You're not hearing anything else. You're just, and he says you're doing better this week. But he wants you to know that he was working with you. He was beside you the past few weeks, helping you with this. Okay. And if you need that, he's going to give you little reminders. He's going to give little reminders here and there. And if you keep your eyes open and ears open, you're going to hear it through people and you're going to see it somehow. That's him coming through, reminding you. Keep moving. Stay positive. Okay?
Okay, I'll look out for these things.
Okay. I want to leave that with you, Dale. I hope it helps.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Shannon. Thank you for serving. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for serving. Stephen, are you ready to give us a couple? All right, let's get you. Yep, you're good.
All right, let's see here. Where am I? Denise, would you like a message from Spirit? Denise Ludwig.
Denise, where are you? Yes, go ahead and unmute yourself, Denise.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Yep, okay, you're good to go, Stephen. Go.
Okay. All right. So they are showing me a sparkling water drop falling into a pool of water and ripples coming off of that. And they're saying that you have no idea how many people are watching you right now and looking to you for guidance. And that you are this sparkling water drop. And that you don't realize the impact that you have on all of those around you. You are making a huge difference, and you don't realize that. Every step that you take leaves footprints. Be careful about where you're placing your feet. You don't have anything to worry about. Just make sure that your footing is sure. Make sure that you think about where you're putting your feet and make sure that you want to put your foot there.
You're more influential than you realize.
You're more influential than you realize. So you got this. And I will leave that with you as Spirit's blessing.
Well, thanks so much. Greatly appreciate that. I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you.
God bless you. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Heidi, would you like a message from Spirit today?
Heidi, can you unmute yourself? Because I haven't found you yet.
Okay.
There you are. Okay.
Here I am. Yes.
All right, Heidi, they are showing me a locket, and it is going from circular to heart-shaped. It's changing from brass to gold. It's then opening from the center to the right, then to the left, and it's completely changing over and over again. And what they're saying is that this is your heart. And there are so many different things changing here. You have no idea how it's opening, what shape it is, what it represents, how it's opening. You need to focus on you now. You're trying to please too many people around you, and you're losing sight of what you are. Find you. Find what makes this locket you. Find what makes your heart unique and what makes this locket shine. You know what it is already. You've just forgotten what that is. You've got a song all your own, and it's beautiful.
Oh, you paused a while ago.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, can you hear me? Let's see here. Trying to hear if they've got anything else for you. The key to this is a lot closer than you think it is. It's not really out of sight. You just have to look around for it. And I will leave that with you with Spirit's blessing.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Joey, would you close us out with a couple, please? Joey, Reverend Joey Wants?
Yes, whoops, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, yes, I will. Stephen, I have a message for you. Would you like it?
He said,
Yes,
yeah. Oh,
yes.
yep, there he is. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Stephen, I see this light around you.
Okay.
And you're like standing there with your eyes closed and not seeing it yourself. Like you're not allowing yourself to see it. And what I'm being told to tell you is that you need to open your eyes and accept and allow that light to come in, because that's the next step you need to be taking to where you want to go. And it's a matter of opening up your mind and your heart and accepting, because that light will help you glow even brighter than you already are, because now it's around you, but once you accept it, it will be in you. And I leave that message with you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ileana, would you like a message?
Yep, yes, oh, she's good to go. All right.
Okay. Ileana, I'm being shown you're walking on a path, and it's interesting because the path is like rather gold looking, and there's green around you, but it's like way far away, and you're just focused on walking on this path, looking at your feet and then looking straight ahead. And the message is you need to stop looking at your feet and straight ahead. You need to look around, because there is so much beauty around you that you're missing out on this. Like you're like so focused on, I've got to get to this point A, where you're missing all of this other stuff. And once you stop looking down and straight ahead, all of that greenery is going to come in close and envelop you. And you're going to be filled with that beauty, and your walk is going to be that much more pleasant. And some of the things that you've been looking for answers for are there. It's just you haven't allowed them to enclose you, okay? And I leave that with you.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And I have a quick one for Vicki too.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Vicki,
Yes.
Here's the word of the day for you. Focus. You need to focus on one thing at a time. You are okay. And it's like, because there's one project, I'm saying project, but that's not the right word. There is one thing right now that you need to put most of your energies into, so that you can put it behind you and go to the next thing, but you're kind of like stuck there. So, and I'm being told you know exactly what I'm talking about. So take care of that project and then move on to your next one. And I leave that message with you.
Thank you.
Love. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Joey, for serving. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for your kind attention, and thank you to all the participants and mediums, and especially to Spirit and the God of your understanding and Jesus for being with us today and always. For those, a couple announcements. Next week, or no, tomorrow, Development Circle with Reverend Vicki and Reverend Carol online, and that is the directions for that, or the Zoom instructions for that, can be found, I believe, on Facebook and our website as well. I think it's on Meetup as well, but I'm not positive. Next week, Reverend Deborah Bay will be our speaker. Thank you. And also, I want everybody in the membership to look for either a letter, well, we'll probably use a letter, a snail mail letter, an actual letter, and Facebook, and the website, and an email, an announcement about what we are planning and what we are planning to do for reopening. We did meet with the board of, I met with the Board of Trustees, and in order for us to come down to, 25 to 30% capacity, I don't believe the time is right yet. Much of our congregation is in the high risk category. So it's not, we're going to be continuing the virtual services. Hopefully we are planning on doing something with an in-person healing or contemplation event at the church, maybe once a month, something like that. But anyway, there's news of that to come. So watch your mailbox, your email, your Facebook, your website, watch it all, because there'll be some news coming. And for those of us who may be new with us today, you can learn more about the Church of the Angels at our website, www.thechurchoftheangels.net. And quickly, I'm going to look and see if there are any hands up. Does anybody have any announcements from the online floor? Okay, Joey, go ahead. Whoops, there you are.
I am muted. Okay. I'm just saying I want to thank the prayer team, because when you talk about positive things with all the craziness going on, this week, one of the prayers I sent out was for someone I don't know, but she was walking her dog. Someone shot a gun off and the dog took off on her, and it was a rescue. And he was kind of like one of those dogs that's not exactly friendly looking, even though he was friendly. And I did tell the prayer team this, but I want to tell everybody else how this works, that it took her a couple days, but she found the dog 2 miles away from home. And so she was so happy. And I just kind of said to my girlfriend when she told me, well, you want me to throw it out for the prayer team. So I just want people to know that this is one of those good things, that the dog came back, she found the dog, he's home, he's safe, he's okay. And I just want to thank the team out loud rather than through my emails. So thank you everyone for serving.
Thank you, Joey. Thank you very much. All right, any other announcements really quickly before we have another song? And I do not see any. So Bobby, if you would give us a closing song, please, that would be lovely. You're still muted, Bobby. Hang on. No, now you're good.
How
You're
was
good.
that?
You're good now.
All right. Here's the message from Spiritualism. Of course, I had a different song picked.
Of course.
Of course. So. I, the Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my people cry, all who dwell in dark and sin, my hand will save. I who made the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. I, the Lord of snow and rain, I have borne my people's pain. I have wept for love of them. They turn away. I will break their hearts of stone, give them hearts for love alone. I
I will speak my word to them. Whom shall I send? Is that I, Lord? Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. I will hold your people in my heart. Go ahead, Jen.
Infinite Spirit, Mother, Father, God, as we move forward, we thank you in advance for the guidance and resources you always provide for us to live the fullest expression of your love. We pray for all those affected by the circumstances throughout our world at this time. May we be reminded of the opportunities to reconnect in love to all those around the world, to Mother Earth and the universe. Amen.
Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I will hold your people in my heart.
Thank you.
Have a great week, everybody.